Sometimes I play with the fantasy of picking and choosing which months of the year I'd like two of and which months I'd skip altogether. If I had my druthers, I would take 2 Februaries. The days are longer and brighter, the sky is bluer, the mountains glisten white, the chickadees chirp. I want to be outdoors, gliding on skis through all that glory. When I exclaim that something is glorious, it's when I notice how the world sparkles. Cold sun on snow crystals, stars in a clear night sky, birdsong. The sparkles are ephemeral. It's obvious. I can't hold on to them. It's easy to say, isn't it glorious? Today's readings evoke for me an image of an athletic coach pointing out muscles that need strengthening. In Isaiah, it's the fasting muscle. In the gospel reading from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, it is the salt muscle and what I will call the sparkle muscles, light and glory. Matthew 5:16 reads, "Let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." This verse caught me up short. Do I ever give glory? When I notice light in others, I am quick to experience envy, wishing I had their light, feel that I don't measure up, or I find fault with some quality of their light. It can be hard to let go of myself and say, isn't their sparkle glorious? 30 years ago, I experienced an epiphany, and by epiphany, I mean a flash of clarity. One summer day, I felt despondent. I hiked up the mountain brook behind the house, sat on a rock, and cried my heart out. I sensed the many layers of me falling away. I shed my inner layers. And what remained was my essence. And it was a sphere of light, an egg of light in my gut. It glowed. Just this past week in yoga class, my teacher, Kate, passed out to us rounded stones that glowed. I gasped when I saw them. There is my essence, the same size, the same shape, the same glow. I felt flabbergasted, and I still do. The stones are selenite. Selenite is a transparent crystal of the mineral gypsum. Kate uses the stones as a healing tool. And guess where you find selenite? In salt flats, salt springs, salt lakes, where the water has evaporated, leaving layers of salt. The other half of my epiphany was this. At the same moment I saw my essence, I felt a tug from upstream, and I impulsively extended my arm. An invisible thread connected me to something vast, something infinite. And I knew in a flash that I did not belong to myself. Nothing could sever that thread. The bond was not ephemeral, it was for keeps. If only I would recall this epiphany every day. But the problem is I forget. This vastness, this vast entity, I will call the Creator. Here is Matthew 5:16 again. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to the Creator. I, along with thousands and thousands of Vermonters, have experienced the privilege of tapping a maple tree. Here is my method. As I approach a maple, I study its crown, checking first of all to see that it hasn't snapped off, looking for dieback, and hoping it's robust. I say hello. I look all the way around the trunk, looking for old tap holes. I hope to see that they're closing up, and when they do close up, they're almost invisible. We switched from 7/16 inch, which is old school, to 5/16 inch, which is a much smaller hole and hurts the tree less. And I choose a spot to drill that's at least 6 inches from an old scar. And often I choose a spot that's below the tubing lines where no one has tapped before. I do my best to see the tree. I invite the tree to share its sap. I wish the tree well and snowshoe on. Fresh sap sparkles. It's easy for anyone to see that. It sparkles in the bucket. It sparkles in the holding tank, where on a cold day, it gleams green like a glacial lake. When you drink sap, it sparkles all the way down the gullet. As Serena's friend says, sap is ambrosia, the drink of the gods. It's easy to say, isn't it glorious, when it comes to the miracle of the sap? I sense the wonder in everyone who visits the sugar house, even in the off months. But you can't hold on to sap. Sap doesn't keep. It is ephemeral. Add some good work, and the sap sparkles into maple syrup. People call it liquid gold. I'll call it liquid glory. When the state granted Lou and me a license to tap state land, and he's up there right now tapping that, foresters walked the parcel and painted a big blue V on each of the beautiful straight maples that would be valuable as saw logs. They didn't want us to tap those. We were left to tap the irregular trees, the ones deformed in their youth, the ones growing on ledge where the soil is thin, the ones struck by a fallen tree who managed to grow in a new direction. But it doesn't matter. The trees that have endured tough times give lots of sap, and it sparkles just like the sap from the beautiful trees. For all of us, this is a common gesture. Maybe there's the glory of scoring a goal or crossing the finish line first, or the joy of greeting a long-lost friend, or the excitement of a happy surprise. We notice this gesture in the forest, too. As trees grow toward the sun, the twigs branch in one of two patterns, alternate, which is like this, or opposite. In northern Vermont, there are only two kinds of trees that grow opposite, ash and maple. Jesus said, "You are the light of the world." To paraphrase Matthew 5:16, let our lights shine, let go and let our lights shine, let our sap flow. We do not belong to ourselves. Let our lights shine before others, before all of creation, that all may see our good works, our sparkle, and taking a cue from the maples, give glory to the Creator. Amen.